What if the app you use to order a 3 a.m. pizza is actually rewiring your brain's capacity for patience?
I mean, it is a wild thought, right?
It really is, but you know that feeling. It's completely dark outside, you're staring at the glowing screen of your phone, and your stomach is just demanding sustenance.
Oh, yeah. We've all been there.
Right. And you're scrolling, and the sheer volume of choices is just paralyzing.
Yeah.
So most of us just, default to whatever app is already sitting on our home screen.
Exactly. It's just the path of least resistance.
But today, we are going to look at the machinery behind that screen. We're diving into a comprehensive 2026 guide that details the top 10 successful, profitable alternatives to the global delivery giant Wolt.
Which is a massive space to cover.
It is. And whether you're a hungry customer just craving better, cheaper options, or, you're a restaurant owner trying to figure out how to scale your business with lower fees and a wider reach without going bankrupt, obviously this deep dive is custom tailored for you. Okay, let's unpack this, because to truly understand the alternatives out there, we first have to understand the mammoth we are comparing them to. We need to set the baseline with Wolt.
Right, and Wolt truly is the baseline of modern delivery infrastructure. To put it in perspective, Wolt isn't really just a food app anymore. It's a massive logistical engine.
Yeah.
Looking at the data, they operate in over 27 markets. We are talking deep penetration across Europe, Asia, and the Caucasus region, boasting a network of like 40,000 restaurant partners.
40,000, that's just a staggering number.
It is. But the crucial mechanism here, the thing that makes Wolt, is its infrastructure. They rely incredibly heavily on their own dedicated courier network.
And so they aren't just pinging random third-party gig workers.
Exactly. They have built a proprietary, tightly controlled logistical web. And, that logistical power is exactly why DoorDash swooped in and acquired them back in 2021.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah, DoorDash didn't just want Wolt's users. I mean, they bought them to instantly absorb that logistics engine and, boom, establish a massive European footprint overnight.
It's smart. And that dedicated fleet means they have incredibly tight control over the delivery experience. But despite that incredible reach, a massive ecosystem of alternatives exists.
A very competitive one. Yeah.
And that's our mission today. We are going to dissect these competitors, from the global giants dominating billboards to the hyperlocal hometown heroes. We want to find out exactly how their business models work and why you, as a diner or a merchant, might want to switch.
So where do we start?
Let's start with the absolute heavyweights, the platforms with massive global or immense national footprints. We're talking Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Deliveroo.
Oh, the big three. Yeah, these are the platforms where sheer scale fundamentally changes both the user experience and the underlying business model.
Let's look at Uber Eats first.
Sure. So it is widely considered the broadest global alternative, genuinely overlapping with Wolt across a lot of core markets. But mechanically, they operate a bit differently.
How so?
Well, while Wolt is heavily reliant on its own couriers, Uber Eats uses a hybrid model. They leverage their massive rideshare fleet, obviously, but they also integrate third-party providers. And for the restaurant owners listening, this is where the scale really matters.
Right.
Because Uber Eats doesn't just offer a delivery driver. They offer a highly robust restaurant management operating system.
Wait, I want to pause on that because we promised to help the merchants listening today. When you say a robust operating system, what does that actually look like for, say, the person running the kitchen?
It means data, like incredible amounts of data. If you're running a restaurant on Uber Eats, you aren't just getting a tablet that dings when an order comes in.
Right, which is what most people picture.
Exactly. But you're actually getting heat maps of local demand. You're seeing exactly which menu items perform best at 2 p.m. versus 9 p.m. You get tools to run targeted promotions during your slow hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they are essentially offering enterprise-level analytics to a mom-and-pop diner, which helps them optimize prep times and reduce food waste.
That is huge. You're essentially outsourcing your data analytics department.
Pretty much.
And then over in the US, you have Grubhub completely dominating the landscape. The numbers here are just wild. Over 300,000 restaurant partners spread across more than 4,000 US cities.
The scale is almost hard to comprehend.
It really is. They push their Grubhub Plus subscription model heavily for free delivery, but they also have a feature simply called Grubhub Pickup.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
It is. You actually pay a small platform fee to go pick up your own food. Now, at first glance, paying an app to walk to a restaurant yourself sounds completely counterintuitive.
It does sound counterintuitive until you understand the psychology of the modern consumer.
Okay, lay it on me.
Well, Grubhub Pickup isn't about delivery. It's about friction reduction and discovery. For the user, it means skipping the line, not having to talk to a cashier, and paying seamlessly before you even walk in the door.
Ah, I see.
The app has essentially become the central search engine for local food. People treat it like a giant interactive discovery menu.
That makes a lot of sense, actually, just avoiding the awkwardness of shouting your order over a loud counter.
Exactly.
So rounding out these heavyweights, we have Deliveroo, founded in London back in 2013 by William Shu, and now operating in over 200 cities. That makes it arguably Europe's most well-known food app.
Definitely a household name over there.
Right. But looking at the research, what really stands out about Deliveroo is how heavily they lean into what the industry calls ghost kitchens.
Yes, the dark kitchens.
Yeah. For anyone unfamiliar with the term, a ghost kitchen or dark kitchen is a restaurant that physically has no dining room, no tables, no wait staff, no printed menus, and no expensive downtown storefront.
Right, no ambiance.
Zero ambiance. It's literally just a commercial kitchen located in an industrial park or, a cheap real estate zone, optimized entirely for delivery.
Exactly. And the unit economics of a ghost kitchen completely changed the game for a business owner.
How so?
Well, if you strip away all that front-of-house overhead, the rent for a prime location, the decor, paying the hosts your profit margins on a single burger go way, way up.
That makes sense.
And Deliveroo recognized this trend really early. They provide the digital storefront for these ghost kitchens. So a single physical kitchen facility might actually operate 5 different virtual restaurant brands on Deliveroo.
Wow, 5.
Yeah. One selling tacos, one selling wings, one selling vegan bowls. To the user scrolling the app, it looks like 5 distinct restaurants.
But it's all the same prep cooks.
Exactly. To the merchant, it is maximum efficiency from one prep station. And Deliveroo leans into this by offering precise GPS tracking and order scheduling, which is vital when you are coordinating that kind of high-volume output from a hidden location.
I look at these massive apps like a universal travel adapter. You know the kind.
Oh, yeah, the chunky ones.
Right. You throw it in your bag, and it plugs into the wall almost everywhere you go in the world. If you're traveling, opening Uber Eats is a safe bet. But I have to push back a little here.
Okay.
Are these universal adapters actually the most efficient choice for you as a user? Because looking closely at the data, both Uber Eats and Grubhub are explicitly cited as having pretty high delivery fees.
They are.
Plus, they suffer from major availability drop-offs if you step outside a major urban center into a rural area. At a certain point, does maintaining that massive global scale actually hurt the end consumer's wallet?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, that is, the fundamental trade-off of scale in the on-demand economy.
Right.
These platforms offer absolutely unmatched restaurant variety. Their tech infrastructure is incredibly robust. I mean, you rarely experience crashes. The GPS is spot on. The customer service is available 24/7.
Which is great.
It is. But maintaining a global logistics network is staggeringly expensive. The sheer size of these operations necessitates higher service fees just to maintain profitability.
Just to keep the servers running.
Exactly. That's exactly why you see them pushing those subscription models so aggressively, like Grubhub Plus or Deliveroo Plus. They desperately need guaranteed, recurring monthly revenue to offset the massive logistical overhead of keeping the lights on in thousands of cities simultaneously.
That makes total sense. You are essentially paying a premium for the guarantee that the app will just work no matter where you are.
Precisely.
But while a universal travel adapter is great for a globetrotter, sometimes you don't need to plug into a socket in Tokyo. Sometimes you just need a platform that perfectly understands the specific streets, the local culture, and the exact restaurants of one single market.
The hometown advantage.
Exactly. So if these global apps are charging a premium just to keep the lights on in 4,000 cities, that inherently leaves a gap in the armor. A gap for a local player who only has to worry about one city.
Spot on. And this is where the battle against a giant like Wolt gets incredibly granular. We're looking at regional specialists who deeply understand their home turf and use that local knowledge as a moat against the global heavyweights.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Let's look at a platform called 10Bs in Israel.
Okay.
Wolt dominates the Israeli market overall with about 51% of online restaurant deliveries. But 10Bs holds a very solid 17%, competing head-to-head in a really tough market.
17% is nothing to sneeze at.
Not at all. And what is brilliant about 10Bs is how they actually built that market share. They were founded in the year 2000.
Wow. 2000.
Think about that for a second. There were no smartphones. There were no mobile apps as we know them today. They started entirely as a B2B service. It was a corporate meal benefit program for tech company employees.
That is the ultimate Trojan horse strategy.
Right.
By starting as a corporate perk where employers subsidize lunch for their staff, 10B's embedded itself into the daily, Monday through Friday routines of thousands of employees.
It's just a built-in habit.
Exactly. They built a loyal, long-standing user base and trained people to use their system before on-demand food delivery was even a widespread consumer concept.
Way ahead of the curve.
Yeah. And today, they are backed by the global powerhouse Just Eat Takeaway. So they have international infrastructure, but their roots are so deep in that specific Israeli corporate culture that it makes them incredibly sticky.
Because everyone's already using it at work.
Right. A global player like Wolt has to spend millions on marketing to break a daily habit that 10Bs established 20 years ago.
We see a similar defensive local strategy in Greece with a platform called eFood.
Ah, yes.
It is Wolt's main competitor in the Greek market. They've secured 20,000 partner stores spread across 100 cities, and their local advantage is that they haven't just stuck to restaurants. They've secured massive, exclusive partnerships with major Greek supermarket chains.
Which is huge for daily retention.
Massive. They are backed by delivery heroes, so they have a massive war chest. But the research shows they're about to face a major pressure test. Uber Eats is slated to expand heavily into Greece from mid-2026 onward.
And how a regional player like eFood survives a pressure test from a giant like Uber Eats often comes down to ecosystem lock-in.
Ecosystem lock-in.
Yeah, which brings us to a fascinating evolution in the global delivery market, the super app strategy. Instead of just doing food delivery better, these platforms bundle multiple essential daily services into one single interface.
Yes, platforms like Yandex.Go and boltfood, like Yandex Eats is built directly into the Yandex.Go super app operated by the Russian tech giant Yandex. It's fighting Wolt head-to-head in places like Kazakhstan and Georgia.
Right.
And then you have boltfood, born out of Tallinn, Estonia in 2019 from the ride-hailing company Bolt. They currently operate in 80 cities.
They've had a bit of a bumpy road, though.
They have. They actually exited Nigeria and South Africa after failing to gain traction. But in Eastern Europe and the Baltics, they are a fierce, highly price-competitive rival to Wolt.
What's fascinating here is the mechanics of the ecosystem. Think about it less like a Swiss Army knife and more like a beautifully designed casino.
Casino. Okay, I'm listening.
Once you walk through the doors of a casino to play blackjack, they make it incredibly easy for you to stay and eat at their restaurant because you are already inside the building and your wallet is already open.
Oh, that makes sense.
Right. If you're a user who already trusts the Bolt app to hail a ride to work every morning or maybe rent an e-scooter on the weekend, your credit card is already in their system.
Your home and work addresses are safe.
Exactly. So the friction to just tap a different tab on the exact same screen and order a burger is virtually zero. You don't have to download a new app. You don't have to create a new password or verify a new payment method. It's all just right there.
But I have to ask, is it really frictionless, or is it just a monopoly disguised as convenience?
That's a fair point.
I mean, if I am locked into Bolt for my rides, my scooters, and my food, aren't I just giving up my power as a consumer to shop around for the best deal? Doesn't the casino eventually raise the prices once the doors are locked?
That is the risk of any walled garden, absolutely. But right now, the super apps are using that shared ecosystem to actually lower prices, which is how they compete with Wolt.
How does that work? Lowering prices by doing more things.
Think about the logistics of route optimization.
Okay.
If Bolt has a driver dropping someone off at the train station and their algorithm sees a pizza order ready just one block away, they can instantly pivot that driver from ride-hailing mode to courier mode.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That density of movement, sharing a single fleet across multiple services, makes their unit economics highly efficient. And that efficiency allows a regional player like Bolt to offer lower delivery fees than a dedicated food app.
Because the driver is never really sitting idle.
Exactly. The research notes Yandex achieves average delivery times of around 30 minutes utilizing this exact shared logistical web.
And Yandex even has a grocery offshoot, Yandex Lavka, that often delivers in under 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Under 15 minutes for groceries is difficult to even wrap your head around, but it perfectly highlights where this entire industry is heading. Because having covered the global restaurant adapters and the regional casinos, it is incredibly clear that the definition of delivery is expanding far beyond just ordering a hot meal.
Absolutely.
We're moving away from restaurant logistics and into complete lifestyle logistics.
We absolutely are. And this requires a completely different operational playbook. Enter platforms like GoPuff.
GoPuff is fascinating. They are highlighted as a top alternative, available in 550 U.S. cities. But they aren't focused on bringing you a burrito from the local taqueria.
No, not at all.
They focus on 24/7 delivery of groceries, alcohol, pet supplies, cleaning products, bath and beauty items. It is insanely fast, but the research points out a major caveat. They charge notoriously high fees if you only make a small order.
Which brings us to the underlying mechanism of their business model. Micro-fulfillment and dark stores.
Dark stores?
Yeah.
Like the ghost kitchens we talked about.
Exactly. We talked about ghost kitchens for restaurants. GoPuff operates dark stores for retail. Now, a dark store is not a 7-Eleven. You cannot just walk in off the street.
Right.
It is a localized micro-warehouse strategically placed in dense residential neighborhoods. The aisles aren't designed to look pretty with nice lighting for shoppers. They're optimized by algorithms, so a warehouse picker can grab a frozen pizza, a bottle of shampoo, and dog food in under 90 seconds.
So they aren't picking up from a third-party grocery store at all. They own the inventory.
Exactly. They're both a retailer and the courier. But think about the economics of a 3 a.m. warehouse.
Okay.
To deliver a single tube of toothpaste at 3 in the morning in under 30 minutes, GoPuff has to pay for the commercial real estate, keep the lights on, pay the warehouse pickers, and pay the driver.
It's a lot of overhead for toothpaste.
Right. To make the unit economics of a $4 toothpaste order work, they have to hit you with a high small order fee. Otherwise, they lose money every single time.
We see this broader push into convenience with foodpanda as well, which dominates Asian markets like Pakistan, Singapore, Thailand, and the Philippines. They have 40,000 local restaurants, but they also boast a massive integrated grocery delivery arm.
Very similar pivot.
Yeah. And I want to circle back to the business owners listening. We promise to look out for you. Platforms like Foodora are highlighted not just for moving food, but for giving power back to the merchant.
This is a big deal.
Foodora provides restaurant owners with incredibly detailed analytics, which begs the question for a restaurant owner. Do you pay a platform like Wolt or Foodora a 30% commission for their logistics and their data, or do you take that money and build your own white label app clone?
It is the ultimate build versus buy dilemma.
Break that down for us.
Sure. A white label app is essentially buying the software shell of a delivery app and slapping your own restaurant's branding on it. You avoid the 30% commission fees, but you lose the massive discovery engine of a marketplace like Wolt.
Because nobody is just scrolling your standalone app on a Friday night.
Exactly. You also have to manage the drivers yourself. For a massive chain, a white label app makes perfect sense. They have the brand recognition.
Right.
But for an independent diner, the data analytics, the heat maps, and the guaranteed courier fleet provided by a Foodora or an Uber Eats is often worth the commission fee, because it fundamentally helps them scale their kitchen operations without having to hire an entire tech team.
Okay, so we've looked at the global giants, the hometown Trojan horses, the super app casinos, and the 24/7 micro-fulfillment warehouses. So what does this all mean? How does an everyday user actually navigate this maze?
It's a lot to consider.
It is. The research provides a playbook, like a literal list of practical tips for users evaluating these platforms. They suggest determining your specific requirements, reading user reviews, ensuring operating system compatibility, and looking for secure payments.
Very logical. Standard advice?
Yeah, standard advice. But there is one tip they offer that I immediately have to push back on.
Let's hear it.
The text explicitly advises users to, quote, try multiple apps, to download different platforms, experiment with them, and compare features and pricing.
Okay.
Now, I understand the basic economic logic of shopping around, but practically speaking, for the average tired consumer at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday, doesn't downloading 5 different delivery apps just lead to major choice paralysis?
Oh, absolutely.
You open one, you check the price of sushi. You open another, you compare the delivery fee. You check a third to see if they have a promo code. It's exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention subscription fatigue. If Uber, Grubhub, and Deliveroo all start pushing their $10 a month plus models on you, doesn't this advice just create massive cognitive load?
This raises an important question. Well, actually, a vital question about the tension between consumer loyalty and the realities of modern digital economics.
Right.
You are absolutely right that having 6 apps on your phone creates cognitive fatigue, and the platforms know you are tired of switching. That is exactly why the super apps and the subscription models exist in the first place.
Just keep you locked in.
Exactly. They want to build a walled garden so comfortable you never leave. However, when the research advises you to try multiple apps, they're pointing toward a very specific, highly lucrative financial strategy: promotional arbitrage.
Promotional arbitrage. Let's define that. You essentially mean gaming the system for discounts.
Like you got? Precisely. The playbook advises hunting for first-time user discounts, cashback rewards, and exclusive promotional codes.
Which are everywhere.
They are everywhere. Remember, these delivery platforms are locked in a vicious market share war. They are actively burning venture capital money to acquire you as a customer.
Yeah.
Promotional arbitrage is essentially letting billionaire investors subsidize your Tuesday night pad thai.
I love the sound of that.
Right. By rotating through apps, you capitalize on their aggressive acquisition budgets. But to your point, eventually the promotions dry up. And the research notes that the modern customer has become intensely impatient.
Oh, totally.
We prioritize fast, efficient, reliable deliveries over everything else. The platform that ultimately wins your long-term loyalty won't necessarily be the one with the absolute cheapest burger. It will be the one that reduces your friction to zero.
Just making it easy.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you are ordering a late-night pizza or 3 a.m. cleaning supplies, the winner is the app that makes the transaction feel practically invisible.
Invisible transactions. That is a really powerful way to frame it.
Yeah.
We have covered an incredible amount of ground today. We started with Wolt's massive global footprint and the logistics engine behind it. We unpacked the mechanics of scale with global heavyweights like Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Deliveroo, exploring how ghost kitchens and enterprise analytics are completely changing the restaurant industry.
It's a totally different landscape now.
It really is. And then we looked at the hometown heroes like 10Bs and eFood, and the genius casino ecosystem of super apps like Yandex Go and boltfood that share fleet logistics to drive down prices.
The micro-fulfillment, too.
Right. Finally, we decoded the 24/7 micro-fulfillment world of GoPuff and the reality of promotional arbitrage. Ultimately, evaluating these options, whether you're a diner tired of high fees or a business owner weighing a 30% commission against a white label app, gives you the power to reclaim your time, your data, and your money.
It absolutely does. And as we wrap up our analysis, I want to leave you with a thought built directly on the psychological conclusion of the data we've been looking at.
Okay.
The research explicitly notes that modern technology has made us increasingly impatient. We have come to expect near instant gratification.
Sad but true.
Yeah. We are now living in a world where a dark store algorithm allows Yandex Lavka to deliver groceries to your door in under 15 minutes, and GoPuff will bring you pet food at 4 in the morning. If this ultimate, frictionless, invisible transaction is the new baseline for convenience, how is that permanently rewiring our brain's capacity for patience in every other area of our lives?
That is heavy.
Right. When we are used to 15-minute fulfillment, how do we handle a slow line at the grocery store, a delayed flight, or even the slow, messy friction of human relationships?
That is a question that definitely lingers long after the food has been delivered and the packaging thrown away. So the next time it's dark outside, your stomach is rumbling, and you find yourself staring at that glowing screen. Take a second to think critically about the multi-billion-dollar logistical web you are about to trigger with a single tap.
Just a tap.
Because the choice you make isn't just getting you dinner, it is shaping a global ecosystem. Keep
Right.
diving deep.